Welcome to The Explainer. What if I told you the absolute best way to succeed under pressure isn't to be more confident, but to actually be calmer? Today, we're digging into the powerful and honestly pretty surprising ideas from the Meda Foundation's article, Calm Beats Confidence. You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. That huge presentation, the final exam, the job interview that could change everything. And what's the advice everyone gives you? Just be confident. Think positive. But what if that well-meaning advice is the very thing setting us up to fail? And that leads us right into what the source material calls the positive thinking trap. It's this idea baked into our culture that if we just hope harder, think more positively, and build up our confidence, we'll automatically perform better. But as we're about to see, that can be a really dangerous illusion. Just think about how radical this is for a second. Our entire culture is built around results. Getting the grade, landing the job, making the sale. All that pressure turns every single performance into this high-stakes verdict on our personal worth. So when success is framed as survival, our brains literally can't tell the difference. An interview stops being a simple conversation and it becomes a trial. And this mindset shift is exactly what triggers a predictable and often catastrophic breakdown in our ability to think clearly. So what's really going on in our heads when we blank out or choke under pressure? It's not that you're not smart enough, it's a complete and total cognitive shutdown. Let's look at the mechanics of why that happens. I love this slide because it perfectly visualizes the work of psychologist Daniel Kahneman. See, when we're under intense pressure, our brain gets hijacked. We're literally pushed out of our calm, logical System 2 brain, the part we need for complex answers, and thrown right into our reactive, fearful System 1. Think of it this way. System 1 is fantastic for dodging a tiger, but if you ever tried to answer a tough interview question while running for your life, it doesn't work so well. And this right here is the key to understanding why we choke. Imagine your brain's processing power is like the battery on your phone. When you're under pressure, you're not just running one app, the task itself. You're also running the self-criticism app, the what if I fail app, and the try to calm down app, all at the same time. Your battery just drains instantly, leaving almost no power for what you actually need to do. So, if trying so hard to succeed is actually what makes us fail, what's the answer? Well, it's a huge paradox, but here it is. To truly perform at your absolute best, you have to become genuinely okay with the idea of failing. Now, this is a really crucial distinction. Embracing negativity isn't about being a pessimist or, just expecting the worst all the time. It's a mature, strategic practice of cognitively preparing for those bad outcomes. By facing them ahead of time, in your mind, we completely strip them of their power to surprise and paralyze us in the moment. And this is the mental shift we have to make. You gotta focus only on what you can control, your preparation, your effort. The final outcome? You can't control that. The moment you truly accept that a no is survivable, that the result is just data and not some final judgment on your worth as a person, poof, the pressure just vanishes. And when you can really truly detach your identity from the outcome, something incredible starts to happen. It doesn't just change your mindset, it fundamentally improves your actual performance. When that happens, the whole game changes. Every outcome, good or bad, stops being a personal judgment and just becomes useful information. This frees up all that mental energy that was being wasted on fear and self-criticism. So instead of a painful loss, failure just becomes feedback. Instead of a crushing rejection, it becomes a helpful redirection. This mental reframing allows your attention to be fully present in the moment, which is the absolute key to unlocking that state of effortless peak performance that people call flow. You see, flow requires a challenge for sure. But it absolutely cannot coexist with fear. And that self-conscious fear only disappears when the outcome of your performance no longer feels like a threat to your very identity. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually do this? Well, the source material gives us a simple, super actionable toolkit that you can use for pretty much any high-stakes moment. Notice this pre-performance routine isn't about hyping yourself up. It's about grounding yourself. You write down your fears to literally take away their power. You ask if you can survive the worst-case scenario to prove to your brain that this isn't life or death. And then you focus on what you can give, which shifts your attention from what if I fail to how can I help. And during the event itself, these simple techniques are total game changers. Slowing down your speech signals safety to your own nervous system, and it projects confidence. Focusing on truly listening pulls you out of your own anxious thoughts. And don't be afraid of silence. It shows you're thinking, not panicking. You have to remember, calm is persuasive. And the work continues even after the event is over. The discipline is to separate yourself from the result, analyze the performance objectively for lessons, and then you let it go. This 3-part cycle, calm before, presence during, and clarity after, is the real engine of sustainable excellence. And that's the beautiful, uncomfortable irony we'll leave you with. This isn't about giving up on your goals, not at all. It's about liberating your effort from the suffocating grip of fear. It's about understanding that true peak performance comes not from a desperate need to win, but from the quiet calm of knowing you'll be okay, even if you don't.